4 or 5. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But then before that, it was.
So you never got that one.
Oh, Easter. Oh, all.
Good morning.
Arizona.
Good morning, Technology Club. This is the December meeting for the Tucson Technology Club. We have some new members, some old members. We're so happy to see you. I'd like to remind you that membership in the Technology Club is always open. We have some extra applications over there. And if you join today, if you have your checkbook with you, you could just leave it there with your application, or the front desk will also take checks for your application. And we're always adding new things. Larry, our tech guy, just told us about some new things that are happening in the lab, and he'll give us a report on that. And for clubs, we also have some additional benefits for club memberships this year, which is brand new. And some of that is, for example, the access to the professional Zoom account that we have. And Larry will tell you what else is available. So with your club membership, of course, you get this Tech Talks every month. We have guest speakers like we have today, and a newsletter with tech tips and so forth. We also have Sunday device help. Last Sunday and the first and third Sundays of the month, we have some students from the Honor Society at Marana High School who volunteer to come and help. So you can bring your device, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, anything portable, and they will help with all kinds of things. At the last meeting, I started taking a sign-up sheet to ask what kinds of things people wanted help with. And some of that is, for example, to add an email account or remove an email account, or how to keep track of passwords, or just some other very simple things that oftentimes, if we're not used to using technology, seem a little daunting. So that is available. Plus, in March, we're excited to announce on March 5th that we're going to have a tech expo. And that will be, if you went to the club expo, that will be set up in this room pretty much the same with different tables. We're hoping to have a variety of vendors that have products and services of technology. Now, I was thinking this morning, how do we define technology? And I think our most basic thing is technology is basically anything you have to turn on. That could be hearing aids, laptops, that could be just anything that you can think of. And today we have smart homes, smart TVs, smart, all these things that are smarter than us many times. So when you think about that, we would actually like your help in finding vendors for this. Anyone who has technology or services, we are asking that the vendors would pay $50 per table, and that will go to our club finances. Or if it's a nonprofit, then $35 a table. And then they can bring in any information about the services, like helping with computer repair or technology, that sort of thing, and products that they have. So I have here some applications that I will leave over there. So if there's a vendor that you know of that uses technology, and when you think about what you do every day and the kinds of things that you use, there's probably someone out there that might want to be a vendor at the Technology Expo, because they'll have access to all of them. This will be open to all Sunflower residents. So they'll have access to about 950 people if all of them came on that day. It is Saturday, March 5th from 2 to 4 p.m. and there'll be announcements in the communicator. Now, another special event that we will have on the same day as the Tech Expo is a raffle for some of the things that we have. We've had donated wireless keyboards and other equipment that we don't need in the lab. So the board has decided that we should raffle them off. And again, All proceeds from the vendor tables and the raffle will go to help the finances of the club, because we're finding with the lab, some of the computers are getting old and need to be replaced. And there are certain services that we need to subscribe to in order to keep things running smoothly. So with that being said, we're looking for 2 or 3 people who might work with Larry, because he knows what we have to raffle off, as a raffle committee to create the raffle tickets and the raffle procedure and so forth that would be held on during the Tech Expo. So if you're available and willing and able, I'm so sorry, to volunteer to be on the raffle committee, let me know after the meeting, because we'd sure like to have you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Larry to give us an update on the website and a lab report.
Well, the website, I've been working to really try to clean that up and get it looking better. So there's a lot of new stuff out there. Not a lot of new pictures yet, because I haven't gotten a lot of new pictures, but some new information. There's ways to pay your dues online, right there on the webpage. There's just a lot of information out there. And I try to keep that up to date. At least once a week, I go through, and anything that's new that I've learned or that other board members have gotten to me or other membership people have gotten to me, I try to get all of that up there as quickly as possible so everybody can see that. So the web pages have changed slightly. The big thing I would ask of all the membership is if you have any ideas on how you would want that to look, what you would like to see on there, let me know. Just at the bottom of the page, it has a way to contact the webmaster. That's me. It's got my email. You can just send me an email that way, or you can send an email to the club email, which is sunflowertechclub@gmail.com. You can do that. There's a lot of ways to contact us. So anyway, if you can think of any way to clean that can make that look better or make it be more informational for what you're looking for, we would be glad to hear that. Also, there's a place on the web page where you can give us recommendations. So we've set all of that up. There's ways now too that we've set up on there to pay your dues online, to fill out the membership forms online. All of that can be done online now. You don't have to come down here to do any of that. But if you prefer doing that, we have a way to sign up also on the computers in the lab. So the lab, there's a lot of things going on over there right now. The big thing is we've got a printer that's failed. So we have a temporary printer in there, and so we're kind of working around those issues. So that's one of the pieces of equipment we have to purchase. So that's why we're kind of looking for doing raffles and doing things to generate a little bit more income, so we can make sure we have good printers and stuff in there, and all kinds of good equipment in there. One of the things we are also looking at doing is for other clubs that want to join our club, we will provide their startup page, web page, and a way for them to collect dues online as well. I can do all of those things fairly easily, and we want to set that up so that that's a benefit of club membership, as well as using our Zoom account and things like that, to try to encourage more clubs to join our club. As far as the lab goes, I didn't bring the books up with me, but there are 2 books in the lab. One is it's how to use the lab, and it's just a hard copy. Also, on the first page when you sign on in the lab, there's a link to that soft document that's the same document. So you can do that online. Also, there's she's bringing up now, there's a notebook in there that this is the one on how to sign on, how to use the computers and stuff in there, what's on there. Then the other one we have the suggestions and other notes and stuff. These are both in the, over by the conference room door, and that over there. So, but what we're looking for here is if you're having a problem, if you have a suggestion, anything that would improve the lab or help fix things in the lab, put it in here. We ask for your email or some contact information, so in case there's a question, we can contact you and find out what's going on. But we're trying to keep that all running as smooth as we can for everybody, because we know it's important that you stay up to date on all of that. That's pretty much it for the lab. Oh, one thing we have added is outbound faxing. A lot of times you get a referral from your doctor and you need to fax it to another doctor or something like that. You can do that through the fax, because doctors use fax for all that. They don't accept emails and that kind of thing. So you have to use fax. So you can use that. If you're a member, you can fax. It doesn't cost you anything. And there's a process in there on system 2 is the only one you can do it on. But there's a cover sheet. There's everything you need to be able to send a fax right there. And you can send that fax and it gives you confirmation that it was received. So you can do all of that. And I think that's about it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Larry. And I have to say, I think we should give Larry a big applause. Thank you so much. The wizard is the tech person extraordinaire. One other thing I'd like to mention is Tim Walter, the past president for the Tech Club, is not able to be here today, but he has a project in which he would like to take pictures of all members of the Tech Club and make a roster so we have the pictures and we can say, oh yeah, that's who that is. Some of us are better at recognizing names, some are better at faces. So he'll be doing that little by little when people come to the meetings. So now, without further ado, we have our patiently waiting speaker for today. Karen Rorke is from Watermark University, and she's going to share some, it really looks like an interesting and delightful way to use certain applications to delve into something that we might really enjoy. So Karen.
Thank you, guys. So yes, I am with the Watermark, particularly with the Watermark at Continental Branch, and I didn't even realize, as you said, it's just something we turn on, how much technology we're using now in senior care and senior living. We're beta testing the Google Nest so that our residents can just say, Google, what's for lunch today? Google, what time is bingo? Or families can just call in and check in on their loved ones. We have the Alexas, which, especially in memory care, we have a couple of residents' spouses who there's a camera on the Alexis. And they can just really, you know, because with my dad has Alzheimer's, and I know just to check in and see how they're doing, because it's so different. I can't call and have him tell me how he's doing. So there's a lot of technology with virtual appointments. Now we do a lot of doctor's appointments virtually. The nurse is right there. She does the vitals, and then the doctor can go forward without having to sit in the doctor's office and wait around. I asked my mother, who's 85, if she was enjoying time with her friends like she usually did and getting to the movies, and she goes, we can't coordinate all our doctor's appointments. We never see each other anymore. So, you know, anything that technology can do to help bring back that time to people as we age so that we can do the things we enjoy is the kind of technology that Watermark is always looking into to help its residents. Today I'm here kind of representing one of our programs called Watermark University. Watermark, I have a little information up here, but Watermark was started 33 years ago. When I started, it was 31 years ago, and I never updated it. So finally I said, well, it must be at least 33 now, because I've been here 3 years. So we started with one community right here in Tucson. David Freshwater and David Barnes, a builder and an architect, built the first community. Their plan was to build and sell, architect developer, that's what they do. And, but they found they had a passion for changing how people age, and they kept the property. And if we fast forward 33 years, we're now the 9th largest operator in the country. We have 70 properties throughout the US, 3 in China. David Freshwater and David Barnes are still our CEO and president, and they live right here in Tucson. And that is also where our world headquarters is, as such. It's a very humble company, so they don't make a big stink about things. It's one of the things I love about working for them. So to help people thrive as we age, we know that continued learning is something that everybody really enjoys. But Watermark University was actually developed so that residents and associates and people within our communities could share their passions and their wisdom. Many people thrive when they're given the ability to teach and inspire others. So I asked myself, okay, if I'm going to teach a course and it's going to be my passion, what is that going to be? And for me, if I could have a superpower, it was going to be time travel. I just wish I could. I go to historic places and I'm like, oh, I wish I could just see what this looked like back in 1912, or what did this look like back in, and I just also love learning history as a perspective for where we are today. I love stumbling on people of note that did extraordinary things, but we never learned about them in school, because you think about how much time they had to teach us history in school. That's about how much history we get in school. So I thought to myself, how do I create something to share with other people? And I found myself, the way I was time traveling with my own technology, I was using 3 different applications. And we're going to go through those 3 different applications today. Hopefully what this is going to also show you is that for people that feel like technology is a necessary evil, in terms of my mother, who I am so impressed by at 85, that is always willing to embrace, even if she's kind of nervous about it, the next new thing. She's like, well, if I don't keep up, I'm going to lose it, kind of thing. But at the same time, I feel from her sometimes where she'll say, oh, I guess I need this app to figure out how to use this Amazon app. Or, you know, she couldn't get my dad, she couldn't see what kind of medications were being ordered for my dad. And so I set her up on Walgreens and had to look at all that. Great help for her. These are great tools, but not a lot of fun. And the one thing I want my course to show is that having access to technology can be a blast. It can be so much fun. And so today we're going to look at 3 different applications. Ones that you're probably familiar with, Wikipedia, Pinterest, and YouTube, and how all of those can be used, not just to travel back in time, which is my passion, but also maybe to travel forward in time as well. So I'm going to start with Wikipedia. Wikipedia was started in 2001. It blows my mind with how young all of these things are, and yet how ingrained they become in our society. And it's basically a crowdsourced encyclopedia. It comes, you can access it in every language around the globe. I think they even have Navajo in here. There is it's not for profit. There is an oversight organization now that it's grown, and there is fact checking, and they go in and make sure that all the information is correct. But what's fascinating about it is everything about history is like in here. But it's world history. It's the view of World War II from a different country's perspective than what our perspective might be. So this may sound crazy. Every night I go into Wikipedia and I put in, okay. And I put in the date. So it's very important when you're in all these apps, Larry can tell you this, you don't want to search up in the Google search, which is way up top. You want to search within the app search, and most apps have their own search engine. That keeps you within the app. If you go back up to the top, it's going to take you out to the World Wide Web. So we're going to go in here. Oh, I actually have to type. And we're going to put in today's date, December 8th. If anybody can't hear me, just let me know. All right. This is their annual fundraiser because they're not for profit. This is their annual fundraising. So that's why we get that up top right now. So I have December 8th. And then it gives me everything that happened. I mean, everything that happened on December 8th for what we have records for. So we have pre-1600s, then they'll group it 1601 to 1900. And I tend to get like, so one of the times I was like, okay, Pope Pius IX. And I was like, I saw in something like 300 AD, Pope so-and-so, so-and-so. And it just made me think, when did Pope start? How did Pope start, you know? And so I could just go through the links that I found when I stumbled on something of interest. I could go to the links and learn more about it, whatever popped up that was of interest to me. My period of time, everybody has a different one, but for some reason, the 20th century is late 19th century, early, and the 20th century is what fascinates me. And so you can see here, Gustav rose to the throne in Sweden, World War I information, the Royal Navy. Some people are real war buffs and history buffs in that sense. If there was a flight crash that you remember and you wanted to learn more about it, not that we want to go back to that, but now we're into 1974. And this is the date that John Lennon was killed at the Dakota. And for many people, it's like, do you remember where you were, like with Elvis? And I was a freshman in college on my freshman floor. I had been at school for one semester, and I just remember somebody coming, yelling through the hallways. But if you want to find out more, let's say not about John Lennon, but you're originally from the New York area, or you're just fascinated by old buildings, because this is something I'm fascinated by. So I want everybody to be thinking where you want to go as I go through this, because I will ask you, where do you want to travel to? And we're going to travel there. But you can learn all about the Dakota. So you have these links, and you can learn about the apartment building, and they talk about the ghosts that might be, that are alleged to be in the apartment building, who built it, who the architects were. And you can see old photos. So this is Central Park, the lake at Central Park. And this was at 1890. You can go back. And if you keep scrolling down, it could go all the way to 2021. We could have today's, if something happened this morning, you'd be amazed. It could be up here by now, some real earth-shattering event. Next thing that comes up is births. So these are people of note from all over the world who were born on the December 8th in different years. And if we scroll down, you have German generals, Finnish violinists, Austrian physicians. What always amazes me is if I come across someone who was a physician, philosopher in 1886, and it's a woman's name. I want to know more about that woman. I don't care who she, I don't care who she was or what, you know, just what was to happen that a woman like that could be raised to a point of being a footnote, even only a footnote in history, but being a physician and a philosopher. So again, it's stumbling on all kinds of interesting history through people, through events. And then if you go all the way, then you keep going, it's everybody that, wow, a lot of people were born that day. Everybody of note that passed away on that date. And again, you just, if you find somebody, here's a painter, and you want to know more about Julian Alden Weir. He was in Greenwich, Connecticut, interesting. I'm from Connecticut, look at that. So it's a great way just to stumble along and just, you know, casual, relaxing thing when you have some downtime. And you know, reading a full book is you only want things in snippets, it's really fun to do. You can do the same thing and just put in a year, and then it will go through the months and the days of a year. So you could just look at 1920 and all the months and all the days in 1920 and what happened throughout those dates. I also find that it gives me great perspective when I use this kind of application, because we think, oh my gosh, what has happened to the world today? And we're saying the same things in the 60s, when you guys were all like 20. What's happening in the world today? These young people, you know, and it's generation after generation. And it gives you perspective, because what's happening today isn't unique. Even in politics, if you go back to the early 1800s, there was some wild stuff going on between the two parties. It's just, you know, it reassures me that, you know, we've made it this far and we'll keep making it. So that's Wikipedia, that's the written word. And that's just one example of how you can have fun and time travel. Pinterest is still photography or still pictures mostly. So because I'm a history buff, it learns what I'm interested in. So when I go to Pinterest, these pictures come up for me. Different pictures, a lot of people use this for DIY, crafts, cooking, and a lot of different things like that. I use it, again, for my passion.
Could you define DIY?
Do it yourself. Do it yourself. And there is nothing you can't find, nothing you want to learn that you can't find on the internet. And we'll get to that when we get to YouTube. So the 1906 Charles Schwab Mansion. There's a new show coming out about the Gilded Age. And if that's something you're interested in, there's all kinds of buildings. Los Angeles, when it was covered with wetlands. Women of Science. So I don't want to know more about that, because I'm weird that way. And if you click through to the picture, often you can get more information about women of science. Not sure, Hillbilly Hillian, Apple, I don't know what, oh, it's a different language. No. Yeah, Appalachia. So it's kind of like you can go to different links, you could try new things. If you don't find what you want because you've gone something, just go back. And I can go back just by clicking on the tab up above. So somebody give me a year or a time or a thing that you want to go back to. If you were time traveling, where would you go?
1949.
Oh, there you go. Let's go. Now remember, you want to search. Where are we searching? In the app. We don't want to search up top. It'll take us out of the application. So right here, I'm going to put 1949. I'm just going to put the year. I don't know what we're going to get. Cars. Vehicles, some fashion. Oh, my husband had one of those. His family had one of those. That's Billie Holiday. No, yes. No, that's not Billie Holiday. What was her name? She performed in Paris and she did a lot of performing.
Josephine
Horn.
Yes, ding, ding, ding. Okay, the prize I give it to you, Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought.
So you can't really see this. Well, click it, you can. So 1949. Meryl Streep was born in 1949. Richard Gere was born in 1949. So you have a list of people that were born. Popular music, Al Morgan, Vaughn Morris, Riders in the Sky, Art Mooney, Perry Como, Forever and Ever. Bing Crosby, and then movies that were big. Lawrence of Olivier. And so you can, kind of, oh yeah, that's what that, man, you say Meryl Streep was born then, and I'm like, wow. I'm surprised, but that makes total sense.
72.
That makes total sense. Okay, so let's say I wanna, change the search a little. So I'm gonna add to this. Life magazine. Then you're gonna get all the covers from Life magazine from that year. Because Life was a very big magazine back then. And it just, for me, this gives me a snapshot of what culturally was truly going on at the time. Because it covers lots of different things.
So we're still on Pinterest?
We are still on Pinterest. So this is more photography. You could look up the Kennedys and see tons of pictures on the Kennedys. You could look up old Hollywood. You could look up atomic age. So those search words that you choose are kind of key. And for me, and this could be wherever your interest ends up lying, but for me, the words vintage and retro are big words to get me interesting things that are interesting to me. I can say vintage Christmas cards. I remember sitting under the Christmas tree, no lights on except the Christmas lights, going through my mother's basket with stacks of cards for the holidays.
So can I say something?
Please.
Back when you had 1949 on there and the different people, birthdays and events and stuff, it said something about a gift, making that a gift for somebody. You could look up somebody's birthday year and print up what happened. I think that's a pretty cool idea for somebody you don't know what to give.
Yep, you
This is
can
what
find
happened the
those.
year you were born.
Yeah. Year you were born, they have those and you can order them or you can print them. So this brings back some memories too, because there was definitely a different look to those cards back in the day. All right, so lastly, we're gonna take a look at YouTube. I'm just gonna play something for, what should I play first? Okay, so we'll stay with the Christmas theme. So this is video. And as I said, you can, if you want to find out how to change a faucet, if you want to find out how to set up your signature on your Outlook, if you want to find out how to build an engine, I guarantee you there's a video to help you do that.
You can also look up Sunflower Tech Club and you'll find us on YouTube.
There you go. Good with the plugs. I have a sales position. So this is, I tried to keep the videos under 2 minutes for you. Is that too loud? For those of you that came from snowy places. So like I said, it's fun to go back sometimes, and it's fun to remember. So you can even, I mean, if you're a sports fanatic, I have this is the entire 1955 World Series game. You can watch 2.5 hours of the 1955 World Series game. I got you queued up to about a minute and a half.
What were the teams?
I believe it was for some Yankees, seemed like they were in the 50s, always in that. Brooklyn.
Best teams of the World Series. Both World Series records. And Padres keep the Yankees away.
Yankees
That's
and
what the
Brooklyn
fans are
Dodgers.
wondering. When the 8th gets underway and the score is still 2-0. Off the thing on the left corner. After Martin flies to Perillo, McDougal bounces a single off third baseman Hope into left field, and Rizzuto scoots to third.
Suda, he sounds.
No.
Here's Yogi Berra.
Oh, he was the announcer for years. Yogi Berra.
3-1. Berra lifts the fly to Perillo. And the runner pulled up. Now it's dangerous, Hank Power.
Oh,
But with the count 2-2, Hank strikes out on a high hardware. And you can get out for no bases. Running back to the exhibition of post upside down.
oh, we're gonna find out who wins. Who knows, does anybody know who won?
Moving down to the Pee-wee Reese. Back to the last, our world champion. Serious with joy. Teammates and fans pop the Brooklyn pitcher wild and playing. And the Dodgers clubhouse is a pandemonium only a great victory can get.
Don't heard the word pandemonium much anymore, do you? So somebody give me just, we have this and then one other video, but somebody give me just something you want to learn. You're thinking about right now, I'd love to learn about, yes, Lee.
I've been watching CNN's thing on Diana, the Princess of Wales. She looks so tall, and no place can I find out how tall was Diana.
Well, that's an easy thing to do.
I think that's easy, yeah.
If you go to Google, now here you do want to search, well, you could search any place because this is a Google. You could have any default browser, mine is Google Chrome. Some of you may have
Bing.
Bing or, but it's gonna get you where you need to be. So you can either type in how tall was Princess Diana, and I find the more you type, the more words you give, the closer you get to what you want.
Yeah.
Larry, what are your thoughts on that?
That's exactly what you want to do. Narrows it down.
Princess Diana was 5'10".
I thought she was really tall.
She was tall, wasn't she?
If you look at her next to Charles, she's actually taller than he is. And she always wore little tiny heels.
And it corrected your spelling.
I go too fast. I don't like, you'll get Princess without an S. So anything else that you would like? Do you want to learn how to build an engine? Do you want to learn how to speak a different language? Do you want to learn how to do yoga?
There's videos on quilting
Yeah.
and mandala painting and things like that as well.
It's on quilting right now.
I'll just tie it.
Okay, here's one. You guys have probably heard a lot about DoorDash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
How to use DoorDash.
yeah.
Dasher. Oh, what did I do? No, I did the right thing. Okay.
That's how it came
So how to use DoorDash?
out.
Tutorial right here. You can learn how to use
Watch
it.
live sports, shows, and
Somebody's gotta make money, there's always that.
Plus top challenge on the riding.
Hello everyone, this is Lodge with the Rider Guy, and in this video, we're going to be doing a tutorial of the DoorDash Driver app. If you haven't signed up for DoorDash yet, you can do so using the link in the description, or you can click the link in the top right-hand card right now. The onboarding process for DoorDash will vary depending on what kind of market you are, and you'll get one of these two options.
So there is truly nothing that you can't, if you're like, I don't know how to do that. YouTube has a video.
Yeah.
On how to do that, whatever that is. You wanna learn how to do makeup for women over 60. You wanna learn, there's everything there.
And there's usually more than one, right?
Yep,
So if you don't like the way he sounds, you go to a different one.
right, and I always usually check the timestamp. So this one is 15 minutes. Sometimes I like people that can do it quicker, like I'll say, well, if this guy's gonna take 45 minutes to tell me what this guy can do in 10, I'm gonna check out the 10-minute guy. But if I get through that and I don't get what I need, I might go back to the 45-minute guy so that I really understand it all. So
Karen, would you mind putting in some contact so we can see?
sure. Oh, so we're gonna go into the YouTube app. And it would probably still get us there if we went up to the Google browser. It would give us a link to it. This should take us directly to the video. Tech Club?
Sunflower,
Oh, I used to live in Suntree, so.
I know. Tech Club,
Just Tech Club, not Technology Club?
I think Tech Club.
What's this Sunflower Technology?
Let's see, Tim Walker, our PALS president, made a real effort to put everything up there, and Larry's gonna be doing that now. So anybody who didn't make it to this meeting can
that's
go
us.
to YouTube and see what we talked about today. What's
So it asks you to subscribe. Here's the November meeting. Look like you right there. So this is the November meeting. So it's virtually get the meeting.
How about the ordinance?
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Different, I went to a different tab.
It's the next tab to the left of the one you're on now.
To share it,
Just want to welcome everybody to our official first time.
you can help me out with this, 'cause they have the share buttons in a different place
President Tim Walter.
for, okay,
Turn
back
over
here.
over here in a few minutes, but first I just want to thank you. It has been my privilege. COVID made it a challenge, but you know, for all in all, we got through it. We all learned
Let me
the
see
hard
the
way.
share button.
We're gonna teach a little bit this year, the easy way. It's been neat to see everybody back.
Right here, we just got it
It's
up.
been neat
So you click the
to see
share
the
button,
energy that's in the board.
and you can either share it to your Facebook page, share it to your email.
You don't know how she's kept this club together for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but you need to have your email set up
99%.
through the system. And Larry's shaking his head, he can help you with that, 'cause I don't know.
Through the YouTube.
It's been.
Not necessarily, it's just having your
In this
email.
club in the last month. And it's been put in for the last
Sorry,
2
Tim.
years. Nobody's fault. It's just, it is neat to see.
Sorry, Tim. you need to have access. So it's not really like you're connecting it to YouTube, but you're giving your email access right to.
What you're doing is you're opening email on your computer and putting a link to this in an email, and then you put who you want to send it to and send it. But it's not actually tying your email to anything. You're just opening the email application on your computer and tying this link into the text of that email. And then up at the top, you put in who you want to send it to, and then it'll go out to them.
Okay.
So within this week, this meeting will be on YouTube, thanks to Larry. So if there's someone that you think would be interested in knowing more about these apps and Karen's presentation, you can send it to them.
That's what all that is.
Are all of the YouTube shareable?
Yes.
Are they? Okay.
So this is, again, when you time travel, you go to.
Wow.
Introducing Venture X.
Yes, wow.
I hope they're not true.
Unfortunately, think about a lot of things that are happening right now in technology that you never thought would be happening.
The one that was the scariest, I think, was the phone in your brain. I don't want people to know what I'm thinking.
Want people to know what
So we already have a phone and a hearing aid, right?
Yeah.
You can already synchronize your phone to your
Got it.
hearing aid. You can synchronize your TV to your hearing aid. So that technology is just that next step further, that instead of having a piece that comes in and out, especially with these masks, anybody that has hearing aids, no, every time you take off your mask, the hearing aid goes flying.
Yeah.
It'll be a technology that's just implanted, just like the earpiece is in your ear, this is a technology that's implanted for like a hearing aid, that then can be accessed from other things.
I read that Elon Musk is already looking for some kind of brain implant to do something. I'm not sure what. They're already pushing it. I mean, there's a lot going on that we don't know about.
As long as it's voluntary.
Yeah.
The paraplegics use their brain to motivate themselves, so it's already being used.
Yeah.
And that's always the tricky part. So much good can come of technology.
Yeah.
And then you can also see how it can go left and go wrong. And so that's why I think it's really good to know about this stuff now, so that people can, that we as a society can help guide what the parameters are gonna be and how to protect ourselves. So I'm gonna end on just my happy place. And we're gonna go back, I believe it's 1959. Who's that guy?
Elvis Presley.
Yeah, the Big Show, Freedom Big Shoe. Elvis Presley headlining. During the show, Elvis is going to appear all the way through the show because sometimes people tune in a little late. We've got a great all-star show going along with it, but right now, singing a medley of some of the songs that you enjoy to the extent of boosting them over the million mark. Here is Elvis. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to do the song that was my very biggest record last year. I mean, it was no bigger than the rest of them, but more. And what we'd like to tell you that to all the people watching, all you people that are here tonight, that we really are thankful for all the success that you made us have and everything. This is my biggest record, and it goes something like this. No one can find see one more alone. If you can't come around, at least please stay home. Something I'm glad to say. But you don't forget my past. If you do the right way. Make me feel this way. Come over here. If you know what I want to understand, I'll be should we be apart? Love, baby. Well, let's walk to the beach and let's say hi. But if you look at that light, and I know I have you check.
So have fun with technology. That's the point. Thank you guys so much for having me. If I could just, two things I just want to point out real quick. We have a dementia support group that's hosted at the community. It's the second Wednesday, which is today of every month at 1:30. We also on January 10th, Widow to Widowed is going to be coming and doing a support group hosted at the community as well. If you know of anybody that can use that support, please make them aware that it's available right down the street. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. That was certainly a walk down history. Oh. So this has been a great meeting. We meet again every month for these tech talks. Next month, Tim Walters and Larry will be presenting on Zoomcraft, everything you need to know about Zoom, because oftentimes now you can talk to all your family members at one time on Zoom, and perhaps you've been invited to different meetings on Zoom. Of course, this meeting is on Zoom as well. So they'll give you some tips on how to use Zoom, whether you're facilitating or creating a Zoom meeting or you're a participant. I'd also like to thank today Ginny Elm. She has provided our refreshments today. So we have coffee and cookies, whatever you like. And we'll be around for a little while if you have any questions or want to say anything. Anybody else on the board want to add anything? Yeah.
Well, her talk is a good segue into another club here at Sunflower that allows you to time travel. And that's the Sunflower Genealogy Society.
Yes.
And it also has to do with a lot of tech things because it's software that allows you to time travel back into your family history using websites like Ancestry.com. And there's other software too. But like, for instance, I maintain my family tree through Ancestry.com, and I can construct it in ways that would be almost impossible without Ancestry having downloaded all these documents from our past, like birth certificates, census figures, military records, on and on and on. And I'm really just beginning to learn how to use all these tools. But it's a huge topic into itself. And we have a genealogy society here, which is kind of teetering on the edge because there's not enough people to support it. And we lost Buzz Rorke. He went back to Pennsylvania. I'm the membership chair, but I'm not really fully in on the club myself, but I'm trying to help keep it going. And we have, and then in the tech room, we have a whole library of genealogy materials that is maintained by the genealogy. But anyway, that's my plan for the Genealogy Society.
And that's
We'd love you to teach a Watermark University course.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave Ann's cards up here. Anybody that has a passion and they want to teach, call Ann. Get on our seminar, our catalog.
So with the genealogy club, we're also looking at possibly if they become a club member, which is a possibility of adding different software available on different of the computers, as long as there's a license to do that. So as your technology club, we're here available. We'll look at your suggestions. If there's something else you'd like, we want to expand and grow and support all the other clubs here at Sunflower. So thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Yes.
One thing I thought would be a good idea, and maybe I'm off base here, is if the technology club could put something on our website about selling things instead of having this little board up here where people are buying and selling.
Oh, okay, so the bulletin board here where people have,
Yeah,
they're selling, they're buying, they want something,
and we could have our own little website to do that.
kind of a classified ad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, instead of being out there on next door or something, we could have our own private space. A lot of people don't come in here and see this.
Just so you know, there is on Sunflower United's Facebook page, there is a marketplace on it for selling, buying and selling stuff as well.
But there's a lot
That's-
of us that don't do Facebook.
I understand, and there's a lot of people who don't like to do Facebook, but
No.
Facebook this was set up by Tim Walter, and it's Sunflower United because it's associated with his real estate company.
Oh,
But it's for sunflower, and he set it up, and there's a lot of comments and stuff on there, and that it's moderated, so there's not a lot of fighting, and there's not a lot of that kind of stuff going on there, like there is a lot of others.
Like
They
Facebook.
moderate it pretty well, but there is a marketplace on there.
maybe that should be put in one of the communicators or something.
Well, I'm gonna talk to them here about the bulletin board and see if there's something we can put on our webpage that would help support,
Right.
because that would be good too.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. And I will mention that Tim Walter, the past president of the Tech Club, and our new treasurer to the Tech Club, Liz Perry, are the moderators for Sunflower United on Facebook. And so that's excellent. From what I understand, I don't know how well we can advertise that within Sunflower, but I'm new at this to find out, but that's certainly one, and we'll check into that possibility of a bulletin board or classified ads. But then that adds more to Larry's work. So thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, for Joy, take care, see you next month.
Thank you.
Big Elvis fan.
Okay, my goodness.
I'll tell you something.